Hi, welcome back to Compalocus University. This is Dave. We are on to section 5.9, how to interact with your assistant to facilitate ordering during your live session. So basically, well, everything is harder if you do it by yourself. And this is why we want to do it in like a team setting to make sure that things are being done like smoothly. Doing well, doing something great and amazing is always easier with in a team setting than just by yourself. So this lesson is about how you can work with your assistants as you develop into an influencer. So just to recap that, we are on to part 9, and we have some other TikTok videos. So if you're interested in becoming a TikTok influencer and you're a beginner and you want to make good money, like be successful, successful influencers, they make millions a year. And not only is it qualified to become a side job, but is if you are successful, you can, you know, like like the sky is the limit. You can make, like lots of money, like, and this is exactly why, if you're interested, stay tuned in our subsequent lessons, and we hope that you too will become a successful and influencer as you want to be. So so how do you interact with your assistant? So basically, you have to understand the difference between selling on your live session versus selling just on TV. So what happened is, if you for TV sales, like typically is represented by the host, and also like a factory representative. Versus if you're doing like a live streaming sales, um, you're represented by obviously the host yourself and also your assistant. Now I would say that the biggest difference is honesty and the intent too. I would say because for any TV sales, there is already like signed contract, signed agreement with an existing factory. So uh, so basically the intention is just to make money, right? Versus if you're like a live stream host, well, you have the responsibility to only uh, I guess like sell things that you think will work, and out of honesty, like if they're say if you're approached by like a factory owner, and like in order to say sell certain makeup brands, but so you try it and you just feel, like from your guts feel like from your gut feelings, like that it's not even a good product, you're not likely to want to sell it. It's mainly because it damages your reputation, right? I would say this is yeah, but definitely TV's difference between TV sales and also live streaming is, um, yeah, TV sales is directly represented by like a factory representative, versus live streaming is you and your assistant. And also like a team partnership for success. So what that really means is, um, when you're doing live streaming with your assistant, is not necessarily about like a verbal competition, but the two of you, you're trying to complement each other in order to make this session interesting for everyone. And and it requires lots of teamwork, and this is why having like a someone who respects like a team partnership, it is very essential for your live session to be successful. So duties of let us move on. So duties of an assistant. So what happened is, well, the assistant has a couple of duties that he or she has to be very good at. The first thing is, day two, they have to learn how to control the rhythm and the atmosphere of the session. An example is, if they see that like there are some, I guess, like a sensitive issues being raised by some audience, then day two, like not only is the host responsible for like resolving the problem, but also the assistant also has a role in um, helping the host to get the stage under control. And also product preparation, ordering, and organization. So when you have an assistant, like basically you're having an extra hand to try to prepare for what products you want to sell, getting like all the product details. Say if you're working with a supplier, then how do you? Okay, so if you how do you get the orders process, and how do you contact the factory if you need more supplies? So these are all like very important things. If a host does not have an assistant, that means yeah, he has to be responsible for everything. And for lots of the successful influencers, like they just don't have that enough time. So this is why having an assistant really helps the host to get things organized. Accessories on facilitating a purchase order. So if they say you just push a product to your audience, say you just post it, and their audience who want to order. So what happened is, how do you process that order? Like, so typically an assistant, like he or she will know, will just jot down the exact number of orders that are required, and also he or she will coordinate with the factory to get the things shipped out. He also record all the shipping addresses and the payment method. Like have they received the payment already? Basically, an experienced assistant will be able to sort those things out. Emergency, as we said, there are times that uh, there are emergencies being faced by like the live session, and the assistant also has a role in getting that under control. An example is, what happens if um, say one of the audiences, like they just sent really negative comments, or even the host, maybe the host like falls down. Who knows, right? The assistant has to basically kind of has an idea on how to handle any emergencies during the show to make sure that the audience feel comfortable. Last but not least, cooperate with the host. So an example is, so if the assistants recognizes any, I guess, irregularities, like any things missed out by the host, like then he or she will be able to kind of like compliment and help the host to realize. An example is like, say if the host like doesn't sleep well, the skin is oily. Hey, perfect. Like this is the amazing lotion that we are going to advertise that's going to help the host to recover like a good and clean skin. And also uh, when the host introduces certain products, let's say like any like clothing brands, right? Well, as we mentioned, some of the audiences they're too shy to even ask any questions, and this is when an assistant can play the role in raising some really good questions, such as, "Hey, can this clothes be machine washed?" And so when your assistants ask those questions, then as the host, then it gives you an opportunity, to answer it, and potentially, like that is the deal breaker, because now that everyone knows, it can be machine washed, so people have the extra confidence in buying it, knowing that, like this is exactly what I'm looking for. Maybe without knowing that it can be machine washed, then they kind of hesitate to buy it. So and also the assistants will keep monitoring any questions from the audience. Like, hey, sometimes the assistants will say, "Oh, one follower asks us if the product can be, like can do this or that." So basically, the host will have the extra benefit if the assistants, can give reminders, or basically reflecting, like raising questions directly from the audience. And because the host is kind of like, focusing on different things, right? Like he or she has to, like control the whole stage, and then like focusing on his sales pitch, and also, running a couple of things already. So if you have an assistant to kind of like back you up, it's always a lot easier. And also, in the case that, if you're running out of stock, then you can say, the host can say, the assistant is talking to the factory and see if we can confirm that we have like extra stocks, or like, if the price, can be changed, things like that. So basically, the assistant play, like it's going to be a big help on, like basically communicate, acting as like a communication channel between the host and the audience, and also between the host and the supplier. So there are also different types of assistants. There are the types that voice only. So what that means is, these, like the assistants doesn't really show up in front of the camera, but they only talk, and they only talk with the host. And this is the first type. And the second type is, there are like some really funny ones. Like, they not only do they talk, but they also show their face. So they actually go right in front of the camera. Like sometimes the host can, so let's try out this hand cream. So what happened is, they apply the hand cream directly on the skin of the like the of the assistants, and then that basically, well, the assistants is kind of like doing the testing um, on himself. And their assistants, like, who are really, funny, and they help to kind of like make the whole live session a lot more fun to watch. They're also like the type that's kind of like the type that repeats repetitively, keep, like advising followers to do certain things, like such as, the host is going to have another event, like in about like 2 days. So please, like stay tuned and come back at 3 p.m. 2 days later. So basically, so these type of assistants, like um, they remind the followers on certain things. So today we talk about the different types of assistants, and what they do to help the host to control that whole live streaming experience. Um, and so just to kind of follow up, it is it is okay if you want to do it by yourself as the host, but as your as you become more popular, as you handle more products, it's always a lot easier if you have an assistant to kind of like back you up. And assistants like can either be like say your family member, your really good friends that you kind of trust and run the business with, or even people you don't know, but you can basically pay like a commission, to get them on board. So this is Compa University. I'm Dave. Thank you for listening to this section. So stay tuned to our next lesson.